Welcome to your FEM-Intuition Workshop. Today, we're going to dive into the 4 archetypes of the divine feminine, and you're going to take an assessment or a quiz to see how you're doing within each of these 4 archetypes so you can create balanced goddess energy. Now, first of all, before we get started, why is it important to create this balanced goddess energy? What will this do for you as you learn about these archetypes and then work on developing a better relationship with each? Well, it's going to help to balance out your yin and your yang, the masculine and the feminine. It's going to help call greater abundance into your life and help you live a life where you feel like you're able to carry out and create, but also enjoy the creation of the life that you've built. So you'll be able to have fulfillment and achievement. And this is so important right now. One of the reasons that I feel really called to share about this information is that I really feel like it is through awakening the divine feminine that we are healing the world and that we are awakening the new earth. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you look back in 2012, a lot of the calendaring systems, including the ancient Mayan calendar system, predicted that this would be the end of the world. Now, many people thought that meant that the world would be destroyed, be hit by a meteorite or something like that. But it's in my belief, as talking to some of these experts and people that have studied and researched this, that this was actually the prediction of an end of an era, of the end of the era of the me energy or masculine energy, and the invitation or opening up of the divine feminine, which is more of a we energy, which is more of an energy about community, about coming together as people in order to build and enlighten or elevate ourselves to the next level. So if you're here on this class, it's probably because you felt a call to step more fully into your divine feminine. And this is no accident. Those of us who are feeling the call or the pull to step more fully in our divine feminine, it's a really important timing that you do this now. It's not only going to help you create a more balanced, happy, and joyful and fulfilling life, but that frequency that you're creating as you step in the divine feminine is going to help your families. It's going to help your communities. It's going to help the people you work with, and overall will help in the healing of the world. So thank you for being here. The work that you're doing is really important. And as we go throughout these assessments of these 4 archetypes, I really want you to know that awareness is the first step to transformation. So you're going to take a quiz in 4 different areas. The 4 different archetypes within the divine feminine are 1, the healer, 2, warrior, 3, temptress, and 4, queen. And when you're done with these assessments, you're going to have 4 different scores. And this is going to be your bigger overall picture to see how you are with each of these. And 2 of these are the yin energy, the more softer, or what's traditionally been called as feminine energies, which are the healer and the temptress. And 2 are the more yang, outward, more of that masculine structured energy, the energy of creation, which are the warrior and the queen. So by the time you're done, you'll get a good idea of, are you more in your yin or more in your yang energy, and where do you need to balance? And maybe you'll be really high in one area and really low in another, and that will give you an idea of what to work on. And I also want to let you know that when you're done with these assessments, there's going to be an option for you to schedule a 30-minute consultation with me or one of the master coaches to go over your quizzes, to go over your assessments, and to help you understand where these might be reflecting in your life, how the different scores that you had may be contributing to different factors in your life, and what you can do to really fully move forward in creating this balance, this divine goddess energy. And for me, in my story, it was really interesting because for a lot of my life, I was in the yin energy, and I felt like I had to hide my light. I felt like I couldn't show up big in the world. And then one day I felt this calling to show up bigger, and I decided to just step into that energy. Well, I stepped a little bit too much into my yang energy. And at this point in my life where all these things were happening, I started speaking internationally. I published a book. I got a TV show, a radio show. I was meeting with celebrities and really influential people regularly. But I lost myself in that process as I stepped too much into the yang energy and actually became really unhappy and experienced depression and went through a painful divorce because the relationships in my life were suffering. And when I created the rebalance in my life, I remember one morning I actually woke up and I was feeling so depressed despite all these achievements and success I had in my life, and got this idea to hike to the top of a mountain nearby and write myself a letter from my higher self, from God, which I did. And I got the information there that I needed to be able to balance out my life. Fast forward 2 years from writing that letter, I was in a beautiful relationship, which I'm still in now with my soul partner. I'm doing a business that I love. And I wake up every morning saying, I love my life. And once I realized that, I was deep in meditation one day and got the idea, the download, the information that it was these 4 archetypes of the divine feminine that allowed me to have a balance. It's when I stepped into a relationship and gained greater knowledge about 4 of these, and then also worked to build those relationships, that I stepped into that total divine feminine flow. And I also got the direction and the calling, felt the calling to be able to share this with other women so that we all can step more fully into our divine energy. So that's why I'm so passionate about this. And it's my mission to help awaken 1,000 women this year to their divine feminine so that we can all together, as we awaken, help heal the world. So without further ado, let's dive into these quizzes and let's dive into the information about these archetypes. So you're going to want to have a pen and a paper ready so that you can take notes on these. You're going to be scoring yourself in the different areas. So go ahead and grab that. If you don't already have that available to you, make sure you have that with you, and you'll be taking your own individual assessment. So first of all, let's talk about the healer and why this archetype is so important. And give me just a minute here. I'm going to pull this up on the screen so that I can share this with you. And we'll dive into this healer energy. So the healer is actually the first of the energies, and this is the yin energy. So this is the energy of turning inward, of looking at yourself, taking care of yourself. And there's some different characteristics of the healer that I'd like to share with you. So when you're in balance with this energy, this is the energy within you, the healer energy, that allows you to be aware of your emotions, aware of what's going on inside of you, aware of what's going on around you in nature and with the people around you and in your communities. When you're in balance with the healer, you're connected to yourself, to your higher power, you're connected to the people around you, to the world. You're able to step into this intuitive part of you where you just know what to do. You know where to go and who to talk to and how to be in your life. And you're patient and unconditionally loving, both with yourself and with other people. So when you're in balance with the healer, and when you have a good relationship with this archetype or aspect of you, then you're aware, connected, intuitive, patient, and unconditionally loving. And some keys or some indicators that you might be out of balance or you need to work on your relationship with your healers. If you're starting to feel needy, if you step into that martyr energy, which is that energy of saying you're going to do something for somebody, but then complaining in your head about it, or even out loud. When you're out of balance with the healer, you feel frumpy, and you might even feel like a pushover, like you have trouble saying no to people, or like you're sacrificing your own needs to be able to help other people. And the healer is really important. We start with the healer because you need to come from a space of having your bucket full before you can help other people. You need to really be able to have a good relationship with this archetype before you can step into working on your relationship with any of the other archetypes. So let's take this quiz. So what you're going to do is write at the top of your paper healer, and then you're going to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, I'm going to read 5 different statements. Don't jump ahead because I'm going to explain each one as we go. As I read these statements, you're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 meaning never and 5 meaning always. So 1 is never, 2 is almost never, 3 is sometimes, 4 is almost always, and 5 is always. So let's look at these. Number 1. You regularly take me time. So just thinking about the past month, we're just going to focus on the past month. Did you take regular me time? Did you take that bath? Did you take that walk? Did you take time to read a book or to meditate? How did you do on regularly taking me time? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Number 2, you respond with kindness and in a loving way to the people you are closest with in your life. Now, this is really important when you think of those times when you just have the straw that breaks the camel's back, or you have these breakdowns or these meltdowns or these explosions of anger. When your bucket's not full and you're operating from empty, that's what happens. And oftentimes the people that we're closest with and we love the most are the ones that get the other end of that. And that's kind of sad, but that's true. So just rate yourself on this and responding with kindness and a loving way to the people you're closest with in your life. And again, just look at the past month. Number 3, when you have a life question, you feel confident that a clear answer will come to you quickly. So whether it be knowing who you're going to marry or where you're going to live or what you're going to do next in your business, you feel confident that you can tap into that intuition and have a clear answer. Number 4, you happily serve the people around you without complaining. So this means that when you do choose to serve somebody, not that you're obligated to, but when you want to do something for somebody, you're doing it from a space of wanting to. You're thankful, you're grateful to be able to step into the service of that person. Number 5, you're able to easily and effortlessly express yourself and your needs to the people in your life. So are you able to express your needs? Are you able to express your emotions in a way that feels good and safe to you? Rate yourself on that one. So I'm going to leave this up for about 20 more seconds, give you time to rate any that you haven't rated already. Don't overthink it, just write a number down. And then you're going to add up all your numbers to create a final score. So you should have 5 numbers. You're going to add those up and you're going to get a score somewhere between 5 and 25. Now, if your sum total is above 20 on your healer, congratulations, you have a pretty good relationship with your healer, and there's always room for improvement, but you're doing pretty well. If you scored between 12 and 20, then you need to work on this relationship with your healer. And if you scored less than 12, immediate intervention is suggested for you because this is a really important area. Now, let me share a couple more things about the healer with you. The healer comes from the heart chakra. So when we're talking about chakras, this is the heart chakra, with the secondary being the throat chakra and being able to express yourself. The healer is the first of the yin energies, and we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. And if you score low on your healer, even if you scored higher, but you're just wanting to improve your relationship with your healer, here's a really easy and simple tool that you can use. And again, when you schedule your call at the end and you hop on with a master coach, they'll explain some more tools that you can use and things that you can do in your life to get a better relationship with your healer. But here's a really simple one. It's what I call the body scan. So right now, just close your eyes, whether you're sitting up or lying down. If you're driving, don't close your eyes though, but just close your eyes and take a deep breath in and begin at the top of your head. And we're going to scan down our body, just noticing if there's any area that feels uncomfortable, tight, tense, or just uneasy. So scanning down your forehead through your eyebrows and temples, just notice if there's anything that feels tense in that area. Scanning down through your cheeks, your chin, your jaw, your ears, scanning down through your throat and neck, down through your shoulders, your arms, your fingers, down through your torso, down through your stomach, your mid-back, down through your digestive system, your hips and your lower back, down your legs to your knees to your toes. Just notice one area right now that you want to focus on that feels tight, tense, or uneasy. Somewhere in your body where you feel dis-ease. Now open your eyes. Just going to take a hand and place it on the area of your body where you're feeling that. For me today, it's my left shoulder. So I'm going to place my hand there. And we're just going to focus on loving this area. So it's human nature when something happens in your body and it's hurting to be like, oh, my darn knee's hurting again. I can't believe my shoulder's acting up, right? We send kind of this hateful energy towards that area of our body. We're going to practice right now sending love. So imagine sending love from your heart chakra down your arm and out your hand to that area of your body. And just repeat after me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And do that one more time. Really feel the gratitude and the love for that area of your body. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Just feel that love and that gratitude coursing down your arm, out through your hand to that area of your body. Just notice how good it feels, just to pay attention to your body, to notice what's showing up and to send that a little bit of loving energy. Okay, deep breath in. Sigh it out. It just feels so good. And one of the things that we do is, and I'll talk a little bit more about this at the end, but I also lead a 6-week course where we dive deep into the energies of each of these. And along with the healer, we focus a whole week on the healer, and you'll get many different practices like this just to help you be more in tune with where you are in your body and being able to fill your bucket. All right, let's dive into the next one here. So after the healer, we have the first of our yang energies, which is the warrior. Now, the warrior is very much about producing results short term. So the warrior is that part of you that's focused, determined, that's a producer and a protector. You have a goal, you get to be focused and determined to create that goal or that result. You produce the results in your life. And the protector part comes in with creating boundaries. Now, this is where the warrior is really important within the 4 archetypes. When you are able to create boundaries, when you know that you can produce results and that you can be focused on a goal in your life, you know that you're always going to be safe and you're going to be okay in any situation. And for those of you like myself that have struggled with codependency or codependent behaviors in the past, it was a sign that I didn't have a good relationship with my warrior. When I was in codependency, I felt like I needed other people to take care of me, or I felt like I wasn't going to be okay if I didn't have a business partner, if I didn't have a life partner, if I didn't have somebody helping me. Well, being able to have a really good relationship with my warrior has allowed me to feel confident in that I'm going to be able to take care of myself. And then in any relationship I enter into, whether it be a partnership with work, or whether it be a partnership in life with a soulmate or a spouse, I know that I'm bringing all of me from a foundation where if I want the other person to do something for me, that's great, but I don't need them to. So it's this beautiful space of being confident in who you are and being able to know that you can take care of yourself. Now, when you're out of balance with the warrior, this is where a lot of women come to me and they say, oh, I feel like I'm too masculine, like I'm too forceful. And other indicators are that you're insensitive or harsh. And this is with other people or with yourself. If you feel like you're trying to force results in your life, if you feel like you are being insensitive and you're just trying to push yourself to a point that's not healthy for you, this is an indicator that you're out of balance with the warrior. So let's take the quiz and see how you're doing with this. Like the healer, you're going to write warrior up at the top of a page, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to read 5 different statements. You're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. 1's never, 5's always. So 1's never, 2's almost never, 3's sometimes, 4 is almost always, and 5 is always. Just think about the past month as I read these. Just do the assessment over the past month, because we're all in ebbs and flows, but let's see how you are right now. So number 1, you complete tasks on time. Just rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. You have a task or deadline, do you complete it on time? Number 2, when you say you're going to do something, you do it. Now, there's 2 parts to this before you rate your score. You need to take into account on whether you do something when you say you're going to do it to somebody else, when you make that commitment outside of yourself, but also look at the commitments you make inside of yourself. If you say you're going to wake up at 6 and go to the gym, do you do it? Do you keep that commitment to yourself? Rate yourself on that one. Number 3, you know how to get results when you need to. If you need to make a certain amount of money, if you need to do a certain thing, if you need to complete a project, you know how to get that result done. Number 4, you have clear boundaries and do not tolerate people crossing them. Now, these boundaries don't have to be on anybody else. They're just for you. Boundaries on your time, boundaries on your energy, boundaries on your sleep, boundaries on your eating. Do you have clear boundaries and do you not tolerate people crossing them? Number 5, no matter what, you feel confident that you will be okay in any situation that arises. You know that no matter what comes your way, you're going to be okay because you know how to get results. You have clear boundaries and you protect those boundaries. You know you're going to be okay. All right, I'm going to leave this up for about 20 more seconds. Again, make sure you have 5 scores. Don't overthink it. And you're going to add all these scores up to come up with a total on your warrior. Now, again, if you scored over 20, you have a pretty good relationship. If you scored between 12 and 20, you got some work to do. If you scored under 12, I would recommend immediate intervention on this one with your warrior. So let's talk about the warrior a little bit more. So the warrior, the chakra that the warrior comes from is the solar plex chakra, right? It's that chakra of creation, of fire, of being able to move things forward in the world. And the warrior energy is so beautiful in helping you to really create the life you want, having that fire and that desire to be able to create that. Here's an exercise that's really easy and great for waking up this energy in your solar plex chakra. This is called Wim Hof breathing, or was stemmed from someone named Wim Hof, and it's used in many different practices. I know Tony Robbins uses this a lot, but we're just going to do 30 breaths. And on these breaths, you're going to sit up tall. You're going to inhale, stretch your arms out, inhale through your nose, and then exhale, pulling the energy down as you exhale through your mouth. So it's what it's going to look like. We're going to go kind of quickly. I want you to do these 30 breaths. And then at the end, we're just going to hold our breath just for 30 seconds. And I want you to notice and feel that fire stirring in your solar plexus and coursing out through your body. Hey, ready? Let's activate our warrior. Halfway there. Slow it down for the last 3. Now push all your out. Taking a deep breath in, just placing your hands on your stomach right over your solar plexus. You can close your eyes if you're feeling lightheaded. You can breathe or lay down. But as we hold the breath, feel that fire in your belly, feel your body being activated, and feel that fire spread down to the bottom of your toes and up to the top of your head. Hold that breath, hold it, hold it, hold it, activate that fire, activate that solar plex chakra, and release. Shake it out. And then just notice how you're feeling right now. This is a really quick exercise that can activate your warrior. So I hope you enjoyed that exercise. All right, let's talk about the healer's yin, the warrior's yang. Oh, by the way, you may notice on your scores right now that you scored higher in one than the other. This could be an indicator you're higher in yin or yang, depending on where you scored. But let's take the other quizzes and look at the big picture on this. So the next of the archetypes that we're going to do is called the temptress. Now I will warn you, this is the one that's usually the most triggering for the most people. So if there's any part of this that triggers you, just be curious about this, because the temptress is a really important energy and one that many women suppress or stuff down. So let me explain the temptress. When in balance as the temptress, you feel sexy. This is not for anybody else. This is for you. Do you feel good in your body, right? This is about feeling good with who you are. This is about being flirty with life, not taking things too seriously, laughing at mistakes, being curious about what's going to happen next in your life. Energy is about fun. It's about having fun, having a good time, enjoying your life and creating a life that you enjoy. It's also about being carefree. And when you step into the temptress, it's important that you're able to put your cares on the shelf and you're able to just enjoy this moment now, where the healer is very much of what do I need? And the warrior is very much of how do I create results? The temptress is very much about the now, about enjoying this moment now and being able to find happiness and pleasure in this moment now. Now, the out of balance temptress can show up as irresponsible, insecure, an attention hog, or even considered slutty in some cases. So let's take this quiz and see how you're doing. You're going to write temptress on a piece of paper, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know the routine. You're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 meaning never, 5 meaning always. So let's take this quiz. Thinking about the past month, how often did you feel sexy? How good did you feel in your body? For you. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Number 2, every day you find a reason to laugh. Thinking over the past month, how often did you find reasons to laugh every day? Whether you be laughing at mistakes or finding a funny show to watch or just laughing because somebody told you a joke. Did you find reasons to laugh? Number 3, you dance or move your body in a fun way regularly. This could be Zumba. It could be going to yoga. It could be turning on your favorite song and dancing in your kitchen for 5 minutes, right? So you find a fun way to move your body regularly. Number 4, you take time to experience some kind of pleasure daily. And let me explain this one, because it's not necessarily about changing your practices, but about changing your perception. When you get in the shower in the morning, do you take time to enjoy how the warm water feels on your skin? Or are you just trying to hurry and take a shower and get on to the next thing? When you're outside, do you feel and enjoy the sun on your face and the breeze on your skin? Or are you just trying to hurriedly get to the next place? When you eat, are you taking time to enjoy the texture and the taste and the sensation of the food in your mouth? Or are you just shoving food in your face to get to the next thing? So how do you do on this one? How do you do on taking time to experience some kind of pleasure daily? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. And then number 5, you are comfortable with people admiring and complimenting you. So if someone tells you, hey, you look good today, or hey, I want to compliment you on how you showed up in this certain situation, are you able to really fully receive that compliment? Rate yourself on that one. All right, as you write your scores down here, I want you to add them up and see where you are with the temptress, which is another one of the yin energies. So if your sum total is above 20, you have a pretty good relationship. Again, between 12 and 20, you've got some work to do. If it's less than 12, immediate intervention is suggested. And the temptress energy really is this energy of the sacral chakra. And one of the things that happens is so often when we get stuck in life, when we have these blocks and we feel stuck in our personal, professional life, we try and step into our warrior to force through it and power through it. Actually, If you're feeling stuck, the first thing you should do is step into this temptress energy. Do something fun, dance, find a reason to laugh or smile. And because it's a sacral chakra energy, that will open up that sacral chakra and open up the flow of creativity. Recently, I went to week number 5 of a book writers retreat that my friend was putting on. And he had a bunch of people coming. He publishes a bunch of New York Times bestsellers. All these people came and they wanted to write their book in 5 weeks and then be done with it. Well, I came at the end of week 4, the beginning of week 5, and I went to one of the houses where everybody had been working on their books. It was in this beautiful retreat center in Guatemala. And I went there and everybody was stressed out. Everybody was experiencing writer's block that was there. And they're like, oh man, I only got 1 sentence written today. I've really got to power through this. I'm trying to get my book done by the end of this week. I've got to finish all my assignments. And I said, hold on, we need to just take 24 hours and play. And everybody's eyes got really big and they said, no way. And I said, just trust me on this. So luckily they did. And over the next 24 hours, we played games, we connected, we danced, we laughed. And by the morning of after that 24 hours, everybody woke up and the writer's block was gone. They were ready to move forward and to create because they'd opened up that creative energy with the temptress. So this is a really important energy. And one of the practices with the temptress is to turn on a song and dance around. We aren't going to do that right now, but I'm going to show you just a really simple breath work with the temptress. In our 6-week class that we go over, we do breath work with each of the different energy types. We talk about activities you can do to build a better relationship with each of the energy types, stones you can use, essential oils. It's a really beautiful, comprehensive class, but here's the breath work with the temptress. It's super easy and really fun to do, but it'll help you enjoy the moment. So the first thing is just to sit up, close your eyes, find something to enjoy about this moment now. Maybe it's the feel of the fabric on your skin. Maybe you're feeling the sun streaming in on your face, but whatever that is, find one thing to enjoy. Maybe it's a smell, maybe it's something you feel. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. And we're just going to make a sound that's pleasurable inside out. And kind of shake your body. Good. We're going to do that 2 more times. Deep, deep breath in and the long, yummy sigh out as we shake our body. So here's the second one. Last one. Just open your eyes and notice how good that feels. Are you feeling centered in that yin energy of enjoying your life? And this is where so many people get too stuck in their yang energy and they end up creating so much busyness. And they're just running so much in their life that they forget to stop and smell the roses. They forget to enjoy life. So the temptress is all about enjoying this moment now. All right, let's move on to our last of the energy types. And this last one is the last yang energy type, and it's the queen. So the queen is all about the big picture, where the healer is very much about what do I need, and the warrior is about how do I create that in the short term. The queen is all about how do I create the long term? What is the big picture of the life or the queendom that I'm wanting to build or create? And when you're in balance with the queen, you are confident. You're confident in who you are and how you show up in the world. You're responsible. You take charge of your life and you know how to delegate. You know how to delegate both in your personal and professional life in areas that aren't your genius, because that's how you really build that big queendom. Now, when you're out of balance with the queen, this shows up as being bossy, demanding, controlling, or a perfectionist, either with yourself or with other people. So let's take the assessment and see how you're doing with the queen energy. So queen quiz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to read 5 statements. Think about the past month, how true these statements are. 1 is never, 5 is always. So number 1, you act with clarity instead of react with emotion to the intense situations that arise in your life. That means when something intense shows up, rather than having that meltdown or that breakdown or reacting in anger, you're able to take a step back and center and say, okay, let me be responsible and let me look at the big picture and how do I want to show up in this situation? This doesn't mean you don't feel emotions. Of course you do, and that's what the healer's for. But the queen does not allow her emotions to control her. She is in charge of her life and she feels and processes through emotions, but she makes her decisions based on the big term picture. Number 2, you confidently delegate tasks for optimization, whether this be hiring someone to do your yard work or your housework or hiring somebody to create your website. You know how to delegate tasks for optimization. Number 3, you graciously allow people to serve you. If someone says, hey, I really want to help you, I want to do something for you, what can I do? Hey, thank you so much. I actually would love a glass of water right now, or I could use help on my website. When somebody opens the door for you, just say thank you. You graciously allow people to serve you. Number 4, you have a long-term vision and a clear plan for accomplishing it. Do you know where you want to be a year from now? Do you know where you want to be 5 years from now? And do you have a plan for accomplishing that? And then number 5, you feel confident in your ability to run your life. You know you've got this. You know you can run your queendom. You know that you're creating the life that you want. All right, add up your 5 scores and come up with your sum total on this. And again, if you're over 20, you have a pretty good relationship. Between 12 and 20, you've got some work to do. Under 12, you better have immediate intervention. The queen is very much the brow chakra energy. This is the energy of the vision of the long-term picture of knowing what you want to create and accomplish in your life. And we aren't going to do this now, but one of the practices we do in the 6-week course that's really valuable is we look at the different areas of our life and where we want to be a year from now. And we write those down and record those and listen to those. It's called the ideal life vision. But my encouragement for you is if you scored low on the queen, you're wanting to get a higher score, just create your year-long plan. Look at where you want to be a year from now, get that clear vision and create a plan for getting to that space. Now, you may notice that we have all of the mid chakras covered, right? We've got the brow chakra with the queen, the throat chakra with the healer, the heart chakra also with the healer, the solar plex with the warrior, and the sacral representing the temptress. And when all of these are connected, what 2 chakras does it connect? It connects the crown chakra and also the root chakra, that chakra that allows you to tap into source energy and the chakra that allows you to manifest and to be that conduit of your mission and your purpose on this earth. So that's really where the divine feminine flow comes in. And when all of these are together, it creates this beautiful energy called the goddess energy. When you have a good relationship with all of your archetypes, then we step into what's called the goddess energy. This is where you are the creator of your life. You know how to take care of yourself. You know how to create short-term results with the warrior. You know how to create happiness with the temptress, and you know how to create long-term results with the queen. This is where you're in balance. You have a balance between the yin, which are the healer and the temptress, and the yang, which are the warrior and the queen. You're in flow. Things just seem to flow in your life to you. You feel abundant. You're abundant in your relationship, in your finances, in your work, in your health. And you feel that abundance. One of the most beautiful things I've seen is as dozens of women have gone through this 6-week course, they've stepped in a space of receiving greater abundance in their life. You feel more peaceful. You're peaceful because you know that you're okay. You know that you'll be taken care of. You know that you're good. And you have that trust with yourself that you're going to show up for yourself. You're happy. You have this happiness in your life and you're connected. You're so connected to yourself, to your higher power, to the people around you, and you have access to your full femme intuition. Now, I want to show you a diagram of how this really shows up in this balance between the yin and the yang, because this is a great example of this. So if you look at this, this is the yin and the yang symbol. Now, the light represents the yang energy and the dark represents the yin energy. Why is this? Yang's more of the sun energy, yin's more of the moon energy. So you have the healer, which is the first yin energy, represented by the small dot because the healer is more inward. You have the second yin energy, which is the temptress, represented by the bigger, darker part of this yin yang symbol, because the temptress is more of the outward. You have the warrior, which is the more focused, short term, being represented by the small white circle, and the queen, which is the big picture, being represented by the bigger part of the white. And notice that when all of these are in balance, it creates a full circle. It creates a harmony in your life that allows you to have that goddess energy. So you now have 4 different scores in these quizzes. Maybe you notice that you're way higher in your 2 yin and lower on your 2 yang, or vice versa. This could give you a good idea of where you are in your life right now. Maybe there's one you scored really low on or one you scored really high on. And just observe this and notice this. And what do you do with these scores? What do you do now that you have these scores, now that you have this knowledge of how you can step into your goddess energy? How do you actually do that? Well, let me tell you what the next steps are. First, just remember that awareness is the first step towards transformation. So just now having your quizzes, being aware of where you are in your different feminine archetypes is the first step. Again, don't beat yourself up if you scored low in a certain area. Just be curious and be aware. Next, schedule an appointment to go over your assessment. This is really important. I see so many people get stuck in this transformation or in this information cycle, right? And information is not transformation. This is the people I see that go to event after event after event and gather all this information, but they don't ever do anything with it. Well, we've created a way for you to have a 30-minute call, either with me or one of the master coaches, to go over your individual scores, to see where you scored and how this may be reflected in your life based on where you're low and where you're high, and what you can do next. So simply go to schedulewithallison.com and you'll see some time slots open. Just grab one of those 30-minute time slots. That's going to be really important for you to be able to move forward and to turn this information into transformation. And when you're on that call, also ask to see if the FEM-Intuition program is a fit for you. As I mentioned before, this is a 6-week life-changing program where we dive deep into each of the archetypes. We're going to get support information and practices to strengthen your relationship with all of them. So week number 1 is focused on the healer. What are the practices? What are the songs that go with the healer? What are the stones? What are the essential oils? What's the breath work that go with the healer? And we're going to focus a week on really building your relationship with that archetype. And we move through all of those. Second week's the warrior, third's the temptress, fourth is the queen. And then the last 2 weeks, we talk about how we can bring those all together to create this balanced FEM-Intuition, this balanced feminine energy in your life. You're going to get access to your divine feminine by the end, so you can operate and flow in abundance in your life. And as you take the course, you'll get an individual session with me to begin with, to really clarify your intentions and to create that clear path moving forward, so that you can have those action steps as you go throughout the program to be able to achieve the result or the intention you set. You're going to get weekly support from your FEM-Intuition master coach. She's going to be there to answer any questions you have, lend you extra support in what you need. And one of my favorite things about this is you get access to a very small group of women who are going to be your power pod or your support group throughout this program. These are women that are on the same page. And what I found is, so often as women, we've all been there. We've been in circles of women that aren't in that higher frequency. We've experienced jealousy and competitiveness and gossip. Well, as hard as that may be, and I know I had to do a lot of past healing around my relationship with the divine feminine, when you step into a group of women who are all trying to access the divine feminine, who are on this path towards greater evolution, then you will gain friendships and you will gain support and you will do healing with the divine feminine that is phenomenal. So those group of people, you're going to show up to support them and they're going to show up to support you. And this will be absolutely life-changing. So remember, schedule your assessment, go over the different archetypes, see how that's showing up in your life and what you can do. And then also ask to see if the FEM-Intuition program's a fit for you. We just take a dozen women with each iteration of this, and it's as much an interview for you as it is for us, just to make sure that this is the right fit. If it's not the right timing, that's fine. If it is the right timing and you're ready to more fully awaken that divine feminine and to step into this group program, then great, we'll tell you the next steps for that as well. So if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this today, is just to remember that you have access to all of these archetypes. Those are all alive within you. And when you access all of these archetypes, the healer, the warrior, the temptress, and the queen, it's going to create a balance between the yin and the yang. It'll allow you to step more fully in that divine feminine. And there's a reason why you're being called to this at this time. The world needs you. They need healing through your divine feminine, and you need you. You need to be able to step into that space and access that full and divine femme intuition. So thank you so much for being here, for taking the time for yourself and learning about how you can step more fully into your divine feminine. And I'll talk to you soon on your appointment.